Now what better place to check out a motorcycle that's called the Goan Classic 350 than the sunny state of Goa, right? So we've been invited out here to test the motorcycle, pre-launch obviously, and yeah, now this is, as you can see from the design, this is a bobber themed iteration of the Classic 350, the existing model. And although you might think that RE have done a rebadging job like what they did with the Classic 350 and the Bullet 350, with this one, well, it really isn't so, because there are more than just aesthetic aspects that have changed this motorcycle quite dramatically. And in this video, we're going to explore each and every one of them. So let's get right to it. Now, as you can see, it is a bobber themed version or iteration of the classic, well, the standard 350, the J series model, with the ape hanger bars, the big 19-inch wheel up front and the smaller 16-inch out back. Now, this is the first time that Enfield have put this configuration together, because these are all new cross-spoke tubeless rims with tubeless tires. And the 1916, well, that is really unique as well compared to the standard classics 19 and 18-inch wheels setup. Now, yes, you do get 4 very vibrant colors, because this motorcycle, well, the design and the colors gains inspiration from the hippie generation out here in Goa from the late 60s to the early 80s. So it's all about funky design, being seen, vibrant colors and all that kind of thing. So this is one of the new colors, the paint schemes. This is in teal. You have a red and black option. You have one where the tank is purple, the motorcycle is completely blacked out, which looks quite cool. The last one is where the motorcycle completely blacked out, with some subtle hints of shades of black as well. So that will tend to be under the radar, more or less. You have these nice white wall tires, which give the bike some character as well. Now, this is the only color scheme where you will see the exhaust manifold in a chrome finish, where the other paint schemes are all have that particular feature all blacked out. Although you see the bike with just one seat out here today, well, when you go to buy the motorcycle, when it does actually launch in a couple of days, well, you will buy the motorcycle with a pillion seat that comes standard as well. But for now, this is the lowered seat height. It feels, well, shorter riders will find it a lot more accessible. And the entire riding posture has been altered tremendously on account of, well, the mini ape hanger bars, the forward set pegs and the lowered seat. So you are in a more bobber or cruiser style position, which paired with the engine and the performance aspects, well, it just gives you a completely different vibe, and it feels very unique and not like what Enfield have done with the Classic and the Bullet 350, because this one it genuinely feels very different. Coming back to the foot pegs, well, these are slightly forward set, which has completely changed the rider triangle. The seat is a lot lower than that of the Classic, and, well, the rear of the bike, well, that's where a lot has changed, because the swing arm is new. You have the rear fender, which is mounted on the swing arm now, so there is a lot less weight on the chassis, and that smaller wheel, well, that has altered the way this motorcycle feels out on the road as well. Now, the Goan Classic 350 borrows its engine straight from, well, the standard Classic 350, because that is the same 349cc J series motor, the single cylinder air and oil cooled motor that makes the same amount of power and torque as it did before, which is rated at around little over 20 PS of max power and 27 Nm of max torque. Made it to the same 5-speed gearbox as well. Now, with the current configuration of this bike, well, it just has a completely different vibe to it, because, well, the motor is all about that relaxed low-end thump, short shifts, nice torquey low-end grunt as well, and with the riding posture that is a lot more relaxed and laid back, well, you have a completely different vibe with this motorcycle when you get down to riding it, whether you're riding it in the narrow streets of Goa or out on the highway. It just feels way different than the standard Classic 350. Alright, so Enfield have tried to keep the wheelbase, the weight and the suspension tune as similar as they could to the Classic 350. But the thing about this one is it has a smaller 16-inch rear wheel compared to the Classic's 18-inch rear wheel. So yes, although it has a slightly thicker profile as well, when you hit highway speeds, you are going to find the rear bouncing a lot, and that is not as comfortable as the standard Classic 350. Alright, so when it comes to features of the Goan Classic 350, you get exactly that which you get with the standard Classic 350, just carried over. So you have all LED lighting, you will get dual channel ABS, and in terms of the instrumentation readout and everything, well, same as the Classic 350 once again. So you have the analog speedometer, you have a small digital section which reads out, well, your level of fuel, trip, gear position and time, and you also get a small tripper navigation pod which gives you turn-by-turn navigation. Now to sum things up out here with the Goan Classic 350, well, after riding it around for a day, I really see the appeal of this bike, not only in terms of design and aesthetic, but in terms of ride, handling. It's a completely different vibe. It feels like a factory custom motorcycle, which is always a good thing. And with all the work that Enfield have put into this bike, well, we see it being positioned one step above the standard Classic 350. And there are a lot of people that are actually going to see the positives or feel the good vibes of this bike. And there are going to be a lot of takers for this particular model.